and the share. There we have it. So I am Kathy Barberi. I'm one of the executive directors for BNI Atlanta. Just wanted to hit the record button real quick as we are getting ready. So what we are talking about is finding your pot of gold. Somebody's going to have to come up with that accent for me. Last week, I don't do well with accents, but you know, there are a lot of resources beyond the chapter meeting, of course, way beyond, that the organization provides, that we provide locally. And so I want to make sure everyone's very well aware about the focus on the member, not just the new member in the visitor experience, but the member experience. And so we created last July a new member ambassador. And over the years, I've seen it and experienced it firsthand that new members join. Why? Not because it's an international organization, because we track everything in BNI Connect, or because they have a BNI Connect profile. They join because of you, the member, and the value that they see at that meeting, and the people that they see at that meeting, the personalities. And so what they don't see and sometimes realize is the structure, that if they engage in that structure, they will be so much more successful and quicker. But the problem that we've always had, and some of our longtime members, or the struggles that we've seen with members is, you know, they're inducted and they're excited, and after that first 2 to 3 months, maybe it starts to dwindle a little bit, their excitement, and maybe they get to training. Our mission is to get them to training within the first 30 days, not just the first 60 days, the first 30 days, because that all of our studies and data from BNI show that if we can engage new members within the first 30 days, they stick around longer. And what that means is you all have longer term relationships. And that's a bummer when someone doesn't renew or drops out at 6 months. And we do see that. About 52% of our first year members don't renew. That's huge. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for us as an organization? We spend a lot more time replacing them and rebuilding relationships, where what can we do in the very beginning to help them engage better, find resources and tools, and experience success quicker. And so one of the things, the Passport to Success is one of those mechanisms that we use to keep members engaged. And so at your chapters, if you, even if you're not on leadership, go back and ask your chapter presidents. They pick these up at the roundtables. Last month we talked about not all the chapters are attending the roundtables on a regular basis. So we're actually going to just put these in the hands of the directors, so that we want to make sure, not going to hold these hostage at the roundtable, because that affects our new member. So we want to make sure your chapter, when a new member is inducted, they are given the passport during the induction, and the president sits down, or the mentor sits down after the meeting to review it briefly with them, and then coaching that new member to say, hey, we actually had a chapter that said, well, we had our first member complete this. What do we do to celebrate it? The first one in 2 years. And so does that mean it's a bad chapter? No, it's a great chapter. But that tells me they could be even better if we could engage these new members. And the Passport program, you don't have to be a mentor, quote, mentor. You could just engage new members. We have a gentleman that's a member of a chapter, and he's just kind of having one-to-ones and looking out for people. He's not, quote, a mentor of his group, but he's just a member trying to get to know the new members and help them, because he was once a new member that had a mentor, but really they just set up the initial, and that was about it, which is okay, because I think there has to be some personal responsibility as well from them. But if they don't know what's expected, they don't know how to follow that path. So that's one key thing, is the Passport. And then the other is the new member ambassador. We've created, Teresa, I'll have to share this with you as well. Oh, there we go. The new member ribbon cutting. And there's a lot of, getting ready to send a video out to all of the members to explain this further. So what is the new member ribbon cutting? And you may think, well, I'm an existing member. How is this going to help me? Here's where it gets really nice. The new member ambassador program, and let me just pull this up. membership online. Well, I wonder what. So, hey, I just want to introduce myself. I'm pulling something up. You haven't lost me. Lost me. Okay, there you go. Okay, it connected again. I'm sorry. But so that I think had a really positive impact on them. And so I thought, well, I wonder if we could have someone from our office make that call, whether it's myself or Mike. Yeah, I know I'm trying to find something, so don't worry. I'm going to pull it back up. New member. And I thought, well, we have an ambassador program, but it wasn't fully baked here, right? And we created this. Let me find it. And Teresa, you were actually one of our first new member ambassadors. But we created it so that new members would have someone as a default at the chapter from our office or from our team that would help engage the new members, right, to make sure that they stayed on track. And so we came up with, let me just trying to find it. We came up with this program, and the new member ambassador does not replace the mentor program. We don't want to step on the toes of the chapter, but just in case we needed a safety net to catch these new members, right? And so here it is. This is the screen. So I want to share with you the new member ambassador and what that role looks like. And the reason I'm sharing it is because we need more new member ambassadors. And so what happens is and follow along with this as a new member, right? That when a new member, the application is submitted to our office, they can pay online, and all this can be done electronically. They can pay online, they can apply, save the application to their computer. Your membership committee does its job. The secretary treasurer then can email that to our office, and within 24 to 48 hours, they're in the system right away. So the application is submitted. The new member ambassador will make a call within the first 48 hours of us receiving that. So they've gotten the go-ahead at the chapter, and within 3 to 4 days, our office gets that information. If it's done electronically, though, this could happen really quick. The new member ambassador participates in the new member webinar, by the way, which is at 9:30 every week. We have the same one with new members on it. They're going to welcome that person, right, and help get them signed up for the new member webinar. We encourage them to participate for at least 2 weeks. And on that webinar, we make sure that, number one, they were given a passport. If they weren't, we're going to mail them a passport and explain the passport. I would say about a third of the folks don't have a passport when they get on our new member webinar. So now we're just mailing it to them. No worries. We don't throw the chapter under the bus. We just say, oh, they must be out. Not a big deal. And we make a note to get with the director or consultant over that chapter to make sure, hey, do you need more? What's the breakdown there? And then we also make sure that they are logged in to BNI Connect successfully and explain a little bit about their profile. And then we say to them, hey, this is where it's really beneficial for you, the member, if we can get the new members engaged in the ribbon cutting. We actually say to the new member, hey, in 3 weeks, let's pick the date at your chapter meeting to highlight you as a new member. And Quentin, since you're a new member, we want to help you build credibility with your chapter, because at first it's going to be a little daunting to give referrals. They may happen, but right now what you can contribute at your chapter is consumers. So we want to have your new member ribbon cutting, and what that looks like is you're going to just invite family, friends, oops, not that, that's my insurance card, family, friends, bosses, vendors, clients to your ribbon cutting. Because when you think of a ribbon cutting, what happens? People come out and we celebrate someone starting their business. So we're having someone start their business as a member in the chapter. And what does that mean to you is the new member ambassador is going to coach the new member on inviting through BNI Connect using the app. There's an email that they can send, helping with follow-up calls. That means your chapter will have a lot more visitors that are consumers, right? Yeah, I will. We just finished them, Quentin. So what we're asking is, can you imagine, and I know that you're like, well, how is this going to help me make more money toward my pot of gold? If we can engage this program, and it's actually being looked at by BNI headquarters, we're tracking. And so if there are Teresa and Quentin, Quentin, we need to get you assigned to help a chapter. So we want to have a ratio of a new member ambassador. And think about it. If you have 1 or 2 chapters, you may have 2 to 3 new members a month. It's not a lot, but you can have one-to-ones or you can do it electronically. The idea would be the new member ambassador serves as a coach solely for working with, and you can't tell because this is in the way. The role is only to help the new member get through their ribbon cutting, basically. It's not to replace anything else. They can do more, but it's not going to show it, is it? There we go. So the role is to help them register for the new member webinar, 1 to 2 weeks, coach them on inviting and registering for their new member ribbon cutting, and oh, by the way, as a default, serve as the mentor, only if the chapter doesn't have it, right? And so, so we want to have at least one for each new member ambassador. We want to have them working with at least 1 to 2 chapters. So if you have any interest in that, the great benefit is you'll have access to their visitor registrations, and you can call them and say, hey, Teresa, this is Kathy. I'm working with Tanya on her new member ribbon cutting for BNI, and I see that you're going to come and support her that day. So tell me a little bit about your business. How do you know her? And so it's just a really good way to network, help the new members feel extremely supported, and then show up to the ribbon cutting and help walk them through that process and, be their new member ambassador. So it's good visibility as well. So if you have any interest in that, let me know. We really want to track all of this. And so then what we ask our new member ambassadors to do is just record the data, because my hypothesis is that if we can engage the new members, get them inviting correctly, right? Just really lighthearted, not trying to recruit anyone to join, just come and network and support me. They are happier because they feel like they're contributing instead of just sitting back waiting for something to happen. They're building credibility and visibility in the chapter. Oh, by the way, one of those visitors might actually spend money with you as a member. They might need a product and service. Your visitor numbers are going to go up. Your thank you for closed business will go up. And it's all in helping the new member. You may add some new members, you may not, but the idea is if we can track how many people they invited, how many were registered, and how many actually showed up, I think that the trend for the new member is they continue to invite. Instead of most new members, think about it, go back and check your Palms records. Most new members, I would say most, at least 70% in my knowledge of new member participation, don't invite for a long time. Most of them. And if we can get them comfortable with it, it's just helping them be a better networker, to be honest, then everyone benefits. So we have this manual, we have a script for all of that. But that is a huge aspect, and we need more new member ambassadors to help with that. And so how you get involved, you can email me. We would want you to be part of, it would not be over your own chapter. Hold on just a second. There we go. It would be over a chapter, that makes sense for you. I'm sharing my screen again. So for those of you watching and going, where'd she go again? Oh, that's where I am. So we want to make sure that, oops, let me go back. There we go. The new members, when they get a phone call, like for instance, I have a new member ambassador that called his new members for a group, and he got him registered. He just said, hey, we have a new member webinar Monday at 9:30. are you available for 30 minutes? And I'll get you registered. So he just registered him because he's brand new. And then we'll send an email, and this is really key as well. We'll send an email to the entire chapter letting you know that your new member blank participated in the new member webinar. And I think we're going to start providing the recording link in that as well so that other members know what it's about. So anyway, so that's one thing that we're really pushing to implement, and by June have it really fully baked with some good data, because I think it could be good. Nope, the new member ambassador it's not a position in the chapter. It's a position on our director team, our director and ambassador team, and they report directly to the area director and the director of who they're assigned to. So yeah, so I think that should answer your question. Yep, okay, good. I want to make sure it's answered. So it's not within the chapter, right? It's actually on our team. So so our training is online as well, and just walking them through the new member webinar, okay? So we know that, of course, Member Success Program, you're going to start seeing, and this is another thing that, you know, it's been revamped. We're getting ready to, BNI headquarters, globally speaking, has an online learning platform that we're releasing as a follow-up to Member Success Program, because there's a lot of information. You guys are, you know, a little bit further along in your BNI lives, most of you on here, but it's pretty daunting. I mean, it's a lot of information, and it really is just the basics. And so be on the lookout for, I believe it'll go launch live April 1st, and it will be a supplemental online designation for the members, and it will really just help them engage in the Member Success Program after the fact to provide additional follow-up training. So there will be an extra recognition for them as well. And so I want to open it up because we're kind of getting close and just see what questions you all have about those two things that I just mentioned. Oops, that's the audience view. That's not what I want. Oh, nope, chat. Need to chat. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, so what do you guys see at the chapter of your new members, other than not enough of them, not enough new members? We do have another program that we're going to introduce at this month's Leadership Summit, and it's the Membership Extravaganza, where we want to work with your leaders to say, okay, what are some growth strategies? I don't know if you all know that when a member does not renew at your chapter, they take about $20,000, $15,000 to $20,000 in revenue out the door. And so how do we help our members be more successful and want to stay? That's one, is to help them with their experience. But on the flip side, how do we keep that growth going? Now, this program of the new member ribbon cutting is certainly going to help, because think about it, if each one of your new members, even if you just had one in the last 3 months, we can engage them in this process. If it starts with one lone nut, doesn't it? One person actually inviting, and then the new person continues the inviting, and the previous members, or the more seasoned members, can relax just a little bit. Still invite, but not as aggressively, because the new folks, they're new Rolodex. Why not let them contribute that way and build credibility? So we want to work with the chapters on in April and May, having a membership drive. And if the chapter sponsors 6 members during that time, that's a lot, by the way. That's about 25 to 30,000 in revenue from those new members, from each new member, really, when they're attending. So, or I'd say probably about 20,000, because visitors actually account for about 1/3 of that. So, but that could be really pretty exponential for your chapter. So we're going to talk with them about having stacked days. Now, it doesn't have to be a major push, but each one reach one, right? What if every member of your chapter actually had a visitor, like a qualified visitor for your chapter? Each one reach one. That's simple. That's one of the concepts we're going to introduce. The other is the stack day, just to say, hey, let's just all focus on individually doing a small amount of work instead of, yes, the visitors day is great. I know a couple of your chapters have had them, but a lot of people don't participate in some of those. When they're like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. We want to make it simple and easy for our folks to engage in. So be on the lookout for details on that. For the chapters that qualify, so 6 is the qualifying factor. Anyone that sponsors a new member during that time, and if their chapter qualifies with 6, then their name's going to go into a drawing for a trip. They get to choose between 2 prizes, a trip, just a beach getaway, a long weekend type of thing, or a renewal for their membership. So they get to choose, and then we'll pick a secondary winner, and they get the leftover prize. So we'll be announcing that. I also want to let you know about our mixer. Let's see. I don't think it's on the calendar yet, but how many of you are attending the Leadership Summit in Marietta next Wednesday? If you're doing that one, we're going to be at Tijuana Joe's on that Wednesday from 4:30 to 6:30 for some networking, just a networking happy hour. Messages going out about it today to members in the area as well as visitors. We are going to present the Black Badge or the Gold Club Badge, which means they've sponsored 6 members to the folks there. And then further down, we have, let me pull the calendar real quick and show you where our other mixers will be. Let me see. The last Monday of the month, we are going to be in Gwinnett County for the Leadership Summit there. Where are we? So I'm not sure where your chapters have registered. That one's from 2 to 4, so 4:30 to 6:30 at Stars and Stripes. We're sticking around to bowl and have a networking happy hour out there. So that one's obviously still at Stars and Stripes, so, but 4:30 to 6:30. And then the one in Alpharetta is at Ceviche. And that one goes 4:30 to 6, or sorry, 4 to 6. So after the summit. The ones in the Alpharetta Roswell area, it'll be in the Alpharetta Ceviche location. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, those are 3 areas that we are having the quarterly mixers, and we'll be doing that again following the roundtables, or following the roundtables in the next quarter as well. So just a couple extra things that we're doing locally. Next week, I'm going to talk greatly about networking outside of our region through BNI Connect and some national and global initiatives. So feel free to pop around. I'd love to find out if any of you are in any groups, BNI Connect groups currently, and if you network outside of the area. I know a lot of our members receive referrals from outside of the area by chance. It's total luck that someone looked online, found their profile, and called them. So I want to talk about how we can be purposeful networking beyond our boundaries of our chapters. So that's the focus for next week, not just within the chapter, obviously, but regionally and then nationally and globally. So, all right, I will let you all skedaddle. Thanks again. If you want to pop up on our new member webinar, it's at 9:30, and you can register. The login details are listed on our calendar of events, so I would encourage you to hop on there and see what that's all about. It's changed significantly since we introduced it. It was a concept, we introduced it, and we're tweaking that system. So it is, if you want to see it, new member webinar. Well, that's for last week, but the login is right there in the listing. So, all right, have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you later.